Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pete and Jeremy's DnDTime. Game 2 this evening. I know you might think it's Game 3 because of the time, but it's Game 2. An adventure I've entitled Just Dwarf Problems, Forge Restoration. But before I dive into this adventure, I'd like to take one moment and introduce our 4 wonderful characters playing with us this evening. And they're equally wonderful players. So first and foremost, we have Kokla Aeriskiba. Kokla, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good.
Kokla, you're such a positive person.
I have to be positive so that I can get my I have a thing for Zeta and
Gotcha.
gotta be positive.
I totally understand that. Kokla, do you ever...
Parents don't like me, or my brother is like so much better according to my parents. I'm good. I'm the greatest.
Yeah, Kokla, you're an awesome storyteller adventurer, and I'm sure someday you're going to be even more powerful. You know how that can be.
They will regret forgetting about me.
Anyway, Kokla, what have you been doing since we last saw you?
Well, I may have run into Zeta in a bar.
Oh.
And he kind of saved me.
Oh.
My right eye now.
I see. So really, I mean, I thought I was going to sneeze right there. Oh. No, not going to sneeze. So, Kokla, I happen to have noticed you might have a thing for Zeta, one of our other adventurers. Is it like, I can't imagine being rescued by him has made that any less, right?
Oh no, we actually talked and shared a hotel room to try and hide from a half orc and a half drow that were trying to kill me.
Why were they trying to kill you?
They insulted all sorcerers, including my brother, so I kicked them in the nards.
Oh. You know what?
Well, it was more of a headbutt, but
Kokla, that went from like very friendly to like kind of saucy to then I'm just gonna kick these guys in the... Anyway, you know what?
They insulted all sorcerers.
Wow.
Sorcerer. And while I'm not happy about my brother being liked more by my parents because he's a sorcerer, he is still my twin brother, and he still made me this beautiful meal, and no one can insult them, so of course I'm gonna get a little angry, and they beat me to a pulp.
Well, you know what? Sometimes it's worth getting beaten to a pulp to really pursue your passions. And if your passions are beating up people who don't like sorcerers, maybe that's just what's got to happen every so often. Anyway.
I try to control my temper, but sometimes I just lose it a little.
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to say, I think that you should follow your dreams and follow your bliss, chase your bliss, you know? Anyway, Kokla, welcome back. I don't think you're going to have too many issues with sorcerer-hating half-orcs here in this adventure. So, but
I'm looking forward to this adventure. I heard that there was going to be dwarves, and I'm hoping that they'll appreciate my bar song.
They very well may. Our next hero this evening, of course, welcome, Kokla. Our next hero this evening is none other than Delta. Delta, how are you doing?
Hello, how's it going? It's been such a short time since I've been back here again.
Yeah, it's been relatively quick since last week. So Delta, how have you been doing settling into the adventuring lifestyle now that you've had a couple of adventures?
Oh, I've now joined the group called the SAS Masters. Hoping to, do a couple of ventures and hoping to change my title once that happens. But yeah, for now, it's quote unquote the SAS Masters. So I'm really excited to be part of that group.
I completely understand that. Being part of like a cool team. That's like 90% of like what people love about being part of Bartholomew's adventures. It's, you know, going out and doing their own thing, and I dig it. I super dig it. I do have to wonder though, you know, there are so many villains in the world. Do you think there are any villains that also believe themselves to be the Sass Masters? Is there gonna be like a Sass Master showdown at some point?
Possibly. I wouldn't, I would, think about that. But with the Sass Masters here, we are gonna in DnDTime, we're gonna beat them. We are totally gonna beat them. Like I said last time, we're here, we're beating them, and no one understands. But
You're not gonna take their
they
sass.
will. Exactly.
No, I dig it. I dig it. Well, Delta, I'm glad that you've really immediately kind of jumped right into the adventuring life. I'm glad it's working out for you.
Thank you.
And of course, welcome back. I'm sure it's going to be another wonderful adventure under your belt. Another great opportunity for you to really give those baddies some of your sass. Really, just teach them a lesson.
Exactly. Yes, I believe so.
Excellent. And speaking of the Sass Masters, we got a second Sass Master in the house. How are you doing, Calbon Zelleri?
Oh, fantastic. I am also a Sass Master.
Calbon, what does being a Sass Master mean to you?
It means that we're here to kick sass.
Oh.
And take names.
Mm-hmm.
We just kick the sass out of people. That is the truth.
You leave them sassless.
Yes.
Interesting. I'm not sure how to feel about that, nor am I perfectly sure that I understand it, but I think it's one of those things that's okay that I don't fully understand. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, what have you been doing in the meantime, as you've been just kind of enjoying the adventuring life and the perks that it brings?
Well, as you know, I love and absolutely love things that are fantastic. And I hate things that are not fantastic.
I totally
So I
understand
figured out a way to destroy things that I don't like. It's awesome. I love it.
What do you mean destroy things you don't like?
Oh, like I could just touch it and just ruin it. You know,
you could just straight up ruin it.
Yeah.
Like, what would happen if you're like, man, this rock, I don't like this rock.
Well, what would happen is I would go in and I would use my nature's touch like this and just destroy it.
You just destroyed the rock. I don't even have a rock.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Exactly.
Well, Calbon, that's a very interesting talent you have. You're not going to use this for evil, right?
No, of course not.
Of course, excellent. Because as part of Bartholomew's adventures, of course, as we all know, all of Bartholomew's adventurers are good. None of them are evil. Certainly not the most powerful adventurers are evil. Everyone's good here. So you know what? I'm very glad that you're here to use your powers for good.
Absolutely. And destroy the things I don't like. But not in an evil way. In the nicest way possible.
Of course. Yeah, in the nicest way possible, of course. Well, Calbon, welcome back. I hope you don't destroy merely destroy whatever the hell you want, actually. Have a great time this adventure. I'm sure it's going to go great.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, we have a man of very few crab hands, Kevin Crabhands. Kevin, how are you doing?
What the hell is a sass man? You know what? Doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm doing good. The shark couldn't keep me down.
Yeah, I was so... you're a kind of funky fella of your own volition. You know, you're at home in the water. Does it hurt any more, like on a psychological or emotional level, being devoured by a shark than being devoured by maybe a dinosaur or something?
Are you kidding me? That's an average day on Ravnica. It didn't even have tentacles. I'm over that crap already.
Oh, wow. Have you died many times in Ravnica?
Yeah, I owe the Orchestra some money, so they won't let me die till I pay it up.
Oh dear, you got to be careful. I hear that Bartholomew can only keep the Orzhov at bay for so long. Is that why you skipped planes and came here?
Yes, and that is the only reason why I'm here.
The only reason is because of the Orzhov?
Yes. Next question.
No, I feel like there's something you're not telling me. Anyway, Kevin, how have you been then? If you're over the horrible death by shark, have you been enjoying your time here in the lands of DnDTime? Have you found any places that you really enjoy being yet?
I like the oceans. There was this one time I saw this really weird whale that looked like it was a little bit above. But aside from that, I've really just been practicing on how to beat up sharks.
Have you learned any secret techniques for beating up sharks in a more effective manner?
Yeah, punch it in the nose.
I imagine that would kind of stun it a little bit.
Oh yeah, they don't like it. Just make sure you only do it when there's one shark around, because the other sharks, they do not get it. They are not fan of it.
I gotcha. If they see you punching a shark in the nose, they're going to be like, how dare you punch my friend, and they're going to come for you, kind of like that?
Yeah, basically. That was a day and a half.
Yeah, I've got a question. So you've been practicing punching sharks in the nose. Has that been pretty successful overall, or have there been a couple more unfortunate incidents?
No, yeah, pretty successful. I learned halfway through how to punch faster.
Well, it's always better when you can punch faster.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, I'm glad that you're back, that you're here, that you've gotten over this horrible shark. Or really, it seems like it was never even a bother. And I'm sure, should you run into more sharks in the future, you'll be well equipped to defeat them. And of course, welcome back, as always.
Thank you very much.
So our adventure begins not in a land of sharks, but in a frigid mountaintop. You can hear the wind whistling and blowing. You see the snow falling, and you sit, well, not over by the snowy area, but instead you sit in a tavern. It is warm. It is pleasant in this area. You can hear the murmuring of the crowd of dwarves going to and fro, enjoying their kind of daily activities. Some of them are drinking at the bar. Others are dancing and singing to a bard who's playing a weird xylophone instrument in the corner made out of stone. And yeah, outside one of the windows, you can see the storm raging outside. You're in the mountaintop city of Ag. It's something of a hollowed out peak of the mountain. This tavern seems to be right up against the side of the cavern, which is why it has a window out into the icy mountainside. But it's very warm and pleasant in here. You're here to meet a dwarf. A dwarf by the name of Jeb, who I guess needed some assistance from Bartholomew's adventure. So I'm wondering, how do you feel about this hollowed out mountaintop, each of you? Are you feeling comfortable in this jovial, pleasant, dwarfy atmosphere? Are you partaking in the drinks that are available?
The only time I've ever been up this high, I was in a cathedral and they were threatening to take my blood. I don't like it.
Well, I've probably gone and asked if I could play a bar song, and then a mug downed it and started playing my viol.
Oh, so you're over. Are you in the corner currently, Kokla, playing with the xylophone dwarf, or is he kind of taking a back step while you've taken over with the viol?
He can join in if he wants. I mean, to join in he can, but this is my defining work, so I am very happily to take center stage if he doesn't want to,
Yeah, the dwarf is absolutely, he's a fellow bard and can respect the hardworking efforts of another bard. And so he's kind of taken a back seat. He stepped off the stage for a moment. You see he's gotten a drink, seemingly quite enjoying it after a day's work playing in the corner. But as you jump up there and begin to just fiddle around on your viol, I imagine it's kind of a jaunty, happy tune.
Well, it's called Pint for the Lost, and it's about getting over abandonment.
Oh no! Is this like a kind of like dark song, or is it like a cheery song?
Sounds very cheery, and like
Oh no!
part of the chorus is dancing, twirling, spinning round, jumping, stomping to the sound, the viol playing a fire now has them all like wow.
Oh,
This just sounds a lot like when the Izek messed something up and we've got to run.
Well, Kevin may not be appreciating it, but the other dwarves are clapping and are kind of dancing around to it, and they seem to be having a very good time. They seem to be really enjoying your music. Does it have like, is it kind of like Hey Ya, where it's like a very happy, well, not like in terms of sound, where it's got like a happy-go-lucky sound to it, but maybe like a dark tone if you actually listen to all the lyrics and their meaning?
I mean, kind of. It's kind of sort. It doesn't. It's not too dark.
Gotcha.
It's like don't you know, little lost gal in a bar, and finding something to make
Happy,
bring her spirits up.
perhaps. Excellent.
And also
So Kokla,
about drinking lots of alcohol. So
and the dwarves are very much engaged with that.
Oh, I can get behind that one.
You can see
I
that
can
the
totally
dwarves
get
here
behind.
are always one for another round.
Waiter, a pint.
They're already bringing over pints.
Oh, yes.
How about so as Kokla performs in the corner and is gathering quite the attention to them, I'm wondering, Delta and Calbon, what are you two doing? Are you enjoying the kind of jovial atmosphere as you await your contact?
Absolutely.
I've been in such a situation like this. I pretty much get myself a little bit drunk.
Oh no!
Because I cannot spend time with other people. So I'm just here, just kind of just chilling back, listening to the music that's there, and kind of just getting myself drunk.
Oh jeez! All right, so Delta's just like I don't like waiting around like this. Just kind of having maybe a few too many drinks. And Calvin.
Oh, I'm just clapping to the music. I really like it. It's a great song. I know what's good. I like it.
Oh, excellent! So Calvin, you're just having a good time, clapping your hands. I'm wondering because you're a fungus person, right? When you clap your hands, does it make like a kind of like squishy sound, or does it make a good clap?
It makes little squishy sounds and little spores go around a little bit.
Oh no! Are those spores bad for people?
No, they're harmless.
Oh, that's good at least. So the dwarves don't seem to really notice the spores or seem be off-put at all. Everyone's just having a pretty good day here. This appears to be some sort of dwarven holiday as they're preparing for the end of the year.
Kevin, meanwhile, is just getting as smashed as possible in as little time he has.
Oh my god! Look, Kevin is just drinking as much as possible. So like,
The dwarves are cheering him on.
yeah, oh, of course. I mean, Delta, you're like just having a little bit more, like, oh boy, I'm a little stressed out. And you see Kevin is just going crazy.
He is on the table.
Yeah, I'm completely gonna have like a competition between him to see who can drink more pints than anybody else.
Come on, lady.
Oh yeah, bring it on.
So, Kokla, as you're playing in the corner and you finish your jaunty tune, was there more you wanted to like sing of it? I don't want to I don't want to put you on the spot, of course. But if you had something you wanted to do, I don't want to take.
I could sing some of it if you want.
If you'd like to, feel free.
I need a theme song. Go for it.
You know, at the little lost gal, she wandered round and found a pound. But then you wouldn't believe what she found. She stumbled upon a little lost town. In this town there was a bar. You didn't have to go too far. They have a pint for all who's lost. Big or small, it had no cost. Here, there, and everywhere. Normal day or during fair. Kinder course, they didn't care. Even with or without hair. And
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, and as you kind of sing it, the dwarves kind of like they're trying to like sing along to it. It's a little too quick for them, and they don't know all the words yet. And they're like, and that's what they start doing, just kind of like instead of like.
Kokla loves that when they go da 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 da.
Yeah, exactly. They start dancing around. They're having a great time. But you're seeing is all the like a bunch of the dwarves are having a lot of fun, and like they're really getting into it. You're seeing kind of like over the dwarves' heads. You see like standing on a table, Kevin Crabhands. He's got a mug in each hand, but also standing not on the table, but on like the bench next to the table. But Delta's very large, being a Dragonborn. Also has a big flagon in each hand. And Kevin, I imagine, right, is a very aggressive drinker here in terms of like the competition.
Oh, 100%.
Been like, I can drink more than he's kind of starting like almost like a fight between them.
None of you pansies can even come close to me.
Oh, bring it on.
Also, it's part of the song.
You can't even drink one pint, can't you?
As part of the song, Kokla includes one obligatory draconic, not a draconic verse, because she's in a dwarven tavern, but she knows dwarven, so she sings some of the song in dwarven.
Oh, and the dwarves get a super kick out of that, and they start dancing around and they are very into it.
Hagurdy-dee. You sit down, you stupid lizard.
Bets anyone? Who's gonna drink the most?
Come on. Looks at you. Don't say that. She's making a great song.
We like to drink with Kevin because Kevin is our mate, and when we drink with Kevin, he gets it done alright.
Boo!
Bets anyone? Who's gonna drink the most? Come on.
As you're kind of having
What's the plot?
little competition between a lot of you. You hear like a and you two are just standing on the table at this point, like yelling at each other and drinking. And you see the barkeep is standing there. He's got a long kind of brown beard in dual braids in the front, and he's got a kind of white apron on underneath, a bit of a balding hair, and he looks at you. Could we maybe take it down a notch?
This is the help you hired.
I didn't hire you.
More drink.
Yes, sorry, sir. I didn't mean to.
No,
You can't tell me what to do.
More drink for you. He kind of nods. The rest of you can easily tell with your insight that he's probably going to be giving Kevin water or heavily watered down ale.
Kevin can probably not tell, considering he can breathe that.
Yeah. Oh no. And
Goes down like air.
Yeah, exactly. And the barkeep kind of heads over, and things start to cool down a little bit. Kevin, despite yourself, you find yourself kind of mellowing out a little, because you're getting very full of liquid at this point. And Kokla, you have finished your round of performance, and the dwarves are very happy. They leave you some money and tips, of course. Very pleased with the performance. And as you kind of collect your things, and the dwarf who was playing the xylophones before you, that was an excellent performance. Where did you learn that song?
Oh, I made it myself.
Oh, really? You should spend some more time here, then. The boys are always looking for something new, and, well, there's only so much you can do with it. Kind of like, it looks at the xylophone.
I do need some new inspiration, and I wouldn't mind creating a piece or two for a duet.
Well, sure. But I've got more to
Hang on, Shorty. We've got a job to do. Kevin calls over from the table.
And I think you need to calm your pal down before he starts a fight.
Don't you tell me to calm down, and he'll just chuck the flagon at this musician.
He ducks and it smashes against the wall. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go calm him down.
And Kevin, as you lift up your flagon to take another throw, you see that another dwarf has approached you. This is a younger-looking dwarf. Maybe the most dead giveaway that he's younger is his beard is much shorter. It doesn't like go way down. It kind of stops mid chest.
Nice beard, stunty.
Early. But he's got like big bushy eyebrows, kind of like a reddish brown hair, and it's very kind of poofy on top as well, and kind of combed back as much as he can. He looks and goes, hey, I'm Jeb. You must be the adventurers on account of none of you are dwarves.
Yep,
Very
we're
astute
adventurers.
observation. Nice beard. I used to have one of those before they turned me into this weird thing.
He kind of strokes his beard. I'm sorry. You lost your beard?
Well, yeah, I wasn't born a blue man. Well, my name didn't used to be Crab. Doesn't matter, actually. And he'll chuck his flagon over his shoulder. Right, what do you want?
Another dwarf kind of just catches it. Oh, thanks! And continues drinking it.
No bother, mate.
Well, I actually need some help. With the new year coming up, I've decided to kind of air out some of the. Well, there was a lot of things that I've been meaning to do that I just never get around to, and I'm thinking one of the things I wanted to do was open up my grandfather's old forge again. It's been dormant ever since he passed away a few years ago. I went to check it out the other day, though, and the place is haunted, I think.
Oh boy,
Ghosts.
another.
I know
haunted
those
house.
fucking.
I've been in a haunted house before. I remember doing that. I'm scared.
Well,
Again,
I walked
but I'm
in
not
and
scared.
I could just see right across. There's a hammer smacking on some metal on the old anvil, and I'm too startled to go any further.
Not invisible goat. How am I supposed to punch something I can't see?
He kind of seems flustered.
That's not an actual question. Just lead us to the forge, and somebody get me some water before this stuff kind of tips me over.
Sure. Yeah, no, come on, come with me.
I assume the bartender just kind of smirks.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your water.
I really must have lost me taste buds. Tastes exactly like what I was drinking.
And you all kind of make your way out of this little inn and into the main city of Ag. You see above it is a gargantuan cavern. The entire peak of this mountain hollowed out. It's got to go up a solid 1,000 feet at least. There's a brilliant gem of some kind up at the peak of the mountain, which shines almost like an artificial sun here, reflecting off all of the silver that can be seen throughout this town, as much of it is made of silver. But this dwarf leads you down a few streets and alleys, past merchants hawking their wares, and the dwarf actually, Jeb, looks toward you, Kevin, and says, if you're looking for someone to help you with the face problem,
Excuse you?
The beard.
The beard. Right, mate, listen here. As much as I do miss mine, it's not going to look good on a blue man.
All right. If any of you all are interested, I can vouch for these guys, Silverblood Beard Company. Kind of looks toward you, Kokla, and Delta and Calbon.
I don't think a beard would look good on me. I'm
not interested.
I'm way too
Like,
small.
understand. He doesn't like get the concept of like beard doesn't look good. I don't.
Yeah, no. Kevin's stroking his chin as if like remembering an old friend.
Hair at all, so I don't think it would do much for me.
Kevin
But your beard is
Beardface.
awesome.
Beards don't belong on my species.
I mean, if
Not
you
on my
want to say so, I don't want to force you. Just saying, if you do decide you want some, help, maybe with your looks, they're pretty good.
I might come back. We'll see.
He continues to lead you down some streets and around the corner, and you stop at what looks like a large warehouse, maybe factory building of some kind. It looks like it hasn't been used in a very, very long time. The crowd has very much thinned out here. nowhere near as many dwarves just kind of meandering around the streets. And yeah, he comes right up to the front and says, well, this is it.
This is a forge?
Well, it is on the inside.
It's bigger than my entire house. What?
Oh, my grandfather was quite the prolific smith. The only reason I just didn't feel like I could follow in his footsteps, you know? That's why I've left it abandoned for a couple of years.
Mate, this looks like it could give the boss a damn... Okay, how many ghosts did you say? I thought there was just one.
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, let's take a closer look.
All right, let's go in. And, like, he's just gonna march forward with the kobold, I assume.
Yeah, there are some, like, dust-smeared windows that, like, you can't see through because it's all dust. It's, like, soot-coated. The building itself is made of stone. The roof seems to be, like, of ceramic tiles and things like that. I don't know why, you don't know why there's a roof inside of a building in a cavern, but there is. And there's a big door, a big stone door. It appears to have a big, like, padlock on the front of it.
Yeah,
Who's the tallest member of the party?
Me, I believe. Oh, no, Dragonborn.
Pick me up. I want to be on your shoulders.
I mean, I'm 5'2". So
Kevin's just gonna... Oh, wait, then that's Kevin. Kevin's 6'7". He's a very tall guy.
So Kevin, as you're the tallest member of the group, Kokla walks up to you, and Kokla, do you like stick your arms out like, pick me up? Or is this...
Yes, pick me up. I want a higher vantage point. 2 feet off the ground is not good for observation.
I've never had a daughter, but I wished you were mine. But give me 1 second. And he's just going to turn over towards the dwarf. You got the keys.
Oh,
right?
Of course. Yeah.
Right, pass them.
He kind of fishes around his pocket. All right. Goes over. Unlocks the door.
Passes. Yep.
Well, good luck, and please don't try and ruin the place. You know, I am hoping to use this again.
How against it are you if I were to use a few of the tools? You never know.
I mean, just don't, ruin it. If you've got to break a few things, you got to break a few things, but don't...
Oh, you are my type of dwarf. And then he'll look down towards Kokla, and say, still need to be picked up.
A good vantage point to look at everything.
Right. Okay, well, he's going to go to pick up Kokla. Do I need to roll for that?
No, you can just throw Kokla on your shoulders. They're small. They're
cool.
2 feet tall. I mean...
Congratulations. You are now quite literally 4 times your normal height.
Oh, this is awesome.
All right. Who's heading first into the room?
Kevin.
Or would you guys like to discuss before you go in?
No, Kevin's watching in.
Okay. Kevin, you step forward through the doors of this old abandoned fort.
Spooky.
You look around. There are cobwebs and dust everywhere. A thick layer of black dust, almost like soot, coats the floor. You see right that upon walking in. To your right, there are a bunch of, well, not cabinets or drawers so much as tables and shelves covered in various tools or powders or ores or what have you. Looking further in, it's a very dark space. No light permeates, although small bits of dim glow come from what must be the windows, covered in soot.
All right.
And this is why Kokla wanted a higher point, because she's got dark vision and a passive perception of 16.
Is it dark in there? Or like completely dark?
It's very dark.
I also have dark vision.
Can I use dancing lights to kind of illuminate the area?
Absolutely.
This is a dwarven forge, correct?
Yeah.
So does it have some sort of like valve that would release like magma and stuff to use for the forging process?
Not that you see like right off the bat when you walk into the main door.
Right. Kevin does know what a forge generally looks like, so he's going to look around for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there are some very large boilers. Like immediately to your left, you have to walk past large copper or brass tanks with pipes leading off of them. And as you look up, those of you with dark vision, and actually with your dancing lights, you can also see Delta. And do you have dark vision, Calbon?
Yes, I do have dark vision. Also, before I went into there, I just used my mold earth and just grabbed some dirt and threw it in my...
Yeah, you just throw some dirt in your bag.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not a ton of dirt here. Well, actually, it's weird. There is a lot of dirt, but it's like, it's very dusty, like rocky dirt.
Perfect.
Yeah,
it's loose
very
stone,
different.
so it's good. It's in there.
Absolutely. So yeah, as you look around, you don't see anything immediately. You see that there's a series of pipes and things like that, and vents are all along this ceiling area building.
Is there like, okay, so you say there's pipes and vents. Do they look, so are these up in like the rafters?
Yeah.
Okay, are they reachable?
They're about 20 feet up.
Okay.
So it'd be tough to get to from here.
Could Kevin just kind of deposit his little kobold friend on some sort of high vantage point that could also lead up there if she chose to?
Sure. You kind of... So you want to go put Kokla up like on top of one of the boilers that you just saw?
Essentially, yes. As long as Kokla's fine with it, and he'll look up to her like, you want to go up there?
I admit I am curious about the pipes.
Yeah, so you place
Right,
Kokla up on top of one of the boilers, and you're all standing right near the entrance still. But as you're standing here, you hear a sound, which is certainly out of place. It comes from directly across from you. You're kind of on the short side. It's only about 40 feet wide here. The entire length of the building is up close to 100 feet. And the sound is the sound of a hammer impacting some sort of metal. It rings through the dark.
I wonder what that could be, he says, running over towards it.
He's immediately going to
Kokla's just gonna try and...
Yeah, no, his entire plan here is he's going to go towards wherever the hammer thing is, and he's going to do a flying haymaker in where the head would be.
Kokla, you're abandoned on top of the boiler as Kevin begins to run away.
Help!
No one else is tall enough to reach you.
I will hang off the edge if someone will catch me.
Well, I mean, I think she could climb up. If she wanted to, she could make her way along the pipes.
You could
Yes,
try and
let's
climb
do
up
that.
into the rafters if you'd like, Kokla.
Let's try that.
I'm just gonna turn into a giant wolf spider and climb up.
Oh my God. All right, so Calbon,
I'm gonna latch onto the spider.
I got a quick question about Calbon Zelleri's wild shape transformation. So you're a mushroom man. You're a Floran. How does it look like when you transform? Does it like grow out
like
of
a
you,
fucking
like
nightmare
extensions that just turn into spiders? Or does it like almost like erupt from you?
It kind of erupts sort of in a way. It kind of grows like in a weird way, and then even whenever I'm taking the shape of an animal, I don't exactly look 100% like that animal. I still have like a mushroom growing out of the back or something. Just
beautiful. So it's just like imagine it looks excruciatingly painful, but I don't know if it is.
No, it's not excruciating painful. It feels great.
It feels great. It's like when you get your back cracked. There's like this large, loud cracking sound. It's like, ooh, but it's like, oh, that feels good. All right, beautiful. So you erupt into this giant wolf spider covered in weird, almost like, it's like hair, but the hair is almost like the underside of a mushroom, like almost kind of spongy. And you're climbing up with Kokla to the rafters?
Yes.
Okay. Kokla, you want to try and leap on the back of the giant wolf spider?
Yes.
Is a wolf spider medium or small? The giant wolf spider.
Medium.
If Kokla's small, does she get like an advantage to that or some such?
No, she can because.
Oh, she can because she's small. Right.
Yep. Otherwise, it would be too small.
Yeah.
But right now, so you're riding the giant wolf spider. Delta, what do you want to do? As you see, Kevin begins to bolt into the darkness. One of your friends erupts into a wolf spider and starts climbing up the wall.
Come here, you spooky bastard.
I am gonna facepalm myself first.
Uh-huh.
But I'm probably just gonna walk to Kevin Crabhands since
You're
I'm
gonna follow
still a
Kevin.
little bit drunk and I still wanna, talk to him, and I'm still a little bit pissed at him, but
Yeah, oh, you're still. Look, Kevin, we're not done talking here.
Kevin is a very active drunk and a very active sober. There's very little difference between drunk Kevin and sober Kevin.
Kevin, you run forward, and you can hear the you hear the kind of clicking of the spider's legs on the copper pipes. It's kind of a very large, almost like 2-foot diameter copper pipe that runs directly across section through these rafters, and you begin to scuttle forward along them. So as Delta, you're chasing behind Kevin, and Kevin, you're the first to see. There's what looks like a large anvil, or actually a normal size anvil, blackened iron. You see kind of now it dimly illuminated by Delta's dancing lights, which are trailing behind you. You see a single hammer, looking like a blacksmith's hammer, smacking, just seemingly by its own volition, floating in the air onto what looks like a half-forged sword lying atop the anvil.
Right. Kevin's seen enough ghosts to know. Well, not so much know because he doesn't know much, but he's gonna run up to it and take a guess and just swing it where the body would be and see if he hits anything.
All right, you run forward and swing.
And nothing?
As you swing, your hands pass directly through the air, and nothing seems to change, except
Well, that's disappointing.
stops swinging and kind of turns toward you as if the hammer is looking at you. And then
I
throws
put
at
it
you.
together now.
I'd like everyone to roll for initiative.
Yes.
Ow.
Do I have
Good.
to roll for initiative as a giant wolf spider?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
Kevin's
I don't know what the
just like,
bonus on that is. Hold on.
I believe
Ke-
they have a +2.
Is it?
Kevin's just looking at this hammer, just like, right, I put it together.
Like, I get it now.
There we go. 8.
Oh, he's still a fast boy.
All right, so it's Kevin, the animated duels, Kokla. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope. It's gonna be Calbon, then Kokla, and then Delta. So Delta's just a little woozy still. As Kevin, you run over and you see this hammer just kind of floating there, like about to swing at you. What would you like to do?
He's gonna swing back.
You're gonna punch the hammer?
I'm gonna punch the hammer.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack against the hammer. You go to punch and it goes whoop, just like up out of your reach.
Stay still. God, it's like the eels all over again. And now he's gonna try to grab the hammer.
Oh, you're gonna try and grapple the hammer. Ooh.
Yes. Just wrap his hand around it, or both hands, or whatever.
An athletics check to grapple the hammer.
Right.
Oh yeah, you reach around and you feel like you have it in your hand, but it's still like moving around a little bit, almost dragging you. It seems a very powerful force, this hammer.
This is a very determined, inanimate tool.
And then the hammer bam, goes right toward your face. Does a 15 hit?
Yes. If it's grappled, does it have disadvantage?
It does not, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, 15 does hit for 6 blood.
So Delta, and actually everyone, you see in the dim light, the hammer, he grabbed it out of the air, and then it looks like he just smashed himself on the face with the hammer. But you're still grappling it, Kevin. But the hammer has swung at you successfully. You also see the sword that is like half built begins to float into the air in front of you.
Oh no.
Calbon, it's your turn.
Okay, so I'm currently like on the other side of the room, right? Halfway up
You're
the
about
wall.
I think you're actually because we kind of extrapolated time a little bit, I think you're on somewhere like halfway over along the big copper pipe.
Okay, so like how much farther would it be? Like how many feet, roughly?
Did you want to like stay on the ceiling, or did you want to jump down toward Kevin?
Staying on the ceiling.
It's about 25 feet, or probably 20 feet.
20 feet, okay. And you said there's cobwebs and the spider webs all over the air.
All over.
Okay. So I will climb across the thing, the 25 feet, because I have 40 feet movement. I will climb across the thing, and I will like hang up into a web and just wait for the right moment to just drop down and lay that bite.
Okay, you're gonna ready an attack to just leap attack the tool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. So Calbon, you're in position above. To the unsuspecting person, it might look like you're ready to pounce on Kevin, but you know.
Yes,
Kokla,
I know.
You're riding on top of this horrible giant spider. I mean, your friend Calbon. What would you like to do now that you are, well, about 30 or about 20 feet up, directly above the animated tools and Kevin?
Well, I'm definitely not gonna let go. But they're like, could Kokla make what check would this be that I'm trying to?
Yeah, just let me know what you want to do, and I can just tell you what you need to roll.
She wants to figure out if she can get the animated tools to stop.
Okay, like a magical way? Because right now you're not sure what might be causing them. So you like trying to think like, are these like an arcane creation? Is that what you're trying to figure out? Like, are these magic in that way? Or are these possessed?
Yeah,
something?
let's go with that
Okay.
first.
Yeah. So can you roll me? I think a religion check, I guess, or an arcana check. Either would be perfectly fine. But they're just
both,
like.
They're both the same for me, so.
Okay. So you're looking at it. Huh. These might be magic tools. You're looking at it and you're just not totally sure.
You
what
don't say.
At a glance. There's no, I can tell you this much. There's no obvious glowing runes on them or anything that would like imply that they're created by some sort of enchantment. So you can tell that much. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Kokla? We'll say that was like a bonus action to take a glance. Okay. Nope.
So
you're standing there.
I'm trying to think. Is like,
Okay.
can she try shouting at the tools to get them to stop?
You could try, sure. I mean, what are you guys be like? Tool stop or?
Come on.
She's gonna be like, could you stop?
Just please stop. All right. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Local woman convinces inanimate object to stop.
Who knows, man? Well, I mean, it's an animate object. All right, so you yell, "Please stop!" And the tools, for a moment, stop. Delta, it's your turn.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
what? What? How did that? Huh?
I was thinking of putting them to sleep, but that's not gonna work.
Probably not, but who knows?
I'll go ahead and do that.
You're gonna cast a sleep spell?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me your sleep.
That doesn't affect Kevin, does it?
It would affect Kevin. Kevin, how many hit points do you have?
Not. 17.
Kevin, as you're like holding on to this hammer, and like you still feel it like being like forceful. You can't move it freely, because whatever. Even though it's like stopped swinging wildly for a second, as Kokla called out. As you're holding it now, you feel like the spell, the sleep, start to like catch you, but then you blink a little bit, and you look, and the hammer is just kind of like, oh, it's not resisting you. The hammer fell asleep.
Are you kidding? I am so confused.
And it's just not resisting you at all.
Perfect time to jump
Nice.
down and bite it.
Oh, you're leaping down, Calvin? Go ahead and make your surprise attack against the sleeping hammer.
If you fail, you're gonna hurt Kevin.
I don't think he's gonna hurt Kevin. He'll just hurt himself. Go ahead and make your attack roll. You have advantage because it's asleep. A 14. You gotta roll with advantage.
16.
A
16.
19 didn't hit last time.
You didn't roll a 19, did you?
I did.
I thought you rolled a 16.
Let me take a... Oh no, my apologies. Yeah, it was 16.
Yeah,
I thought it was 19.
Absolutely would have hit him. Unfortunately, the 16 misses.
How does the 16 miss?
It
Okay.
misses. It's very small.
It's very small.
You leap from the air and you just bump, land on the ground. You're gonna take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, Calbon, unfortunately.
I'm still.
I'm right on top of him.
Yeah, you're fine. He's a squishy spider. We've already determined this.
It's like a beanbag.
Yeah, exactly. You just kind of. I imagine Calbon just kind of sponges a little bit for you.
Yes.
Well, time to get off the creepy spider.
Yeah, get back onto the big guy.
All right. Christ. All right. I'm shocked that this thing is not immune to being asleep, but it's not. So, Kevin, it's your turn. Calbon has launched their surprise attack, but unfortunately missed the hammer in your hands.
Kevin has absolutely no clue why it's stopped. He doesn't know why there's a spider that's dropping from the ground, but he does know that it's not resisting him anymore, and a grin spreads across his face as he looks towards the sword.
Yeah.
And he's going to hit a tool with another tool. And he's going to swing the hammer onto the sword.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll with a light hammer. Which is just whatever your normal attack roll is, just do that.
Okay, cool.
All right, you swing it down. You hit it. So I need you to roll the damage. So roll the damage normally first. So that's 4 damage to the other thing because you hit it. You deal 4 damage. Okay.
Wait, is this half-forged blade on fire? Because like that's
no, it's not. It was not heated at all, which is strange.
That is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it seemed like it was just taking it raw. That being said, I need you to roll that damage a second time because the hammer is asleep, so you critically hit the hammer.
Nice.
All right, so 10 damage to the hammer, which is like it's badly damaged and like chipped from that strike. It seems like it's maybe at half of its hit points or something like that. And you immediately feel the hammer wake up again and is no longer asleep.
Right. In that case, he is going to expend a key point. Not that he knows what key is, and he just thinks he's a weird boy. To use this. 1 second. Let me just. Right.
Dodge the bonus action. Hot damn. That's a very good ability.
Yeah, so he's just like, not this time, asshole, as he stares towards the thing.
Yeah, well, and the animated hammer immediately tries to hit you in the face again. This time with disadvantage. A 13.
Does not hit.
Excellent. I imagine this is just you grab it with a second hand and you're like, oh no, you don't hammer.
Basically. Out of the damn way.
Also see the sword kind of rattle a little bit more on the anvil and then clatter to the ground as the anvil flies into the air.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And goes after 2, which is oh no, Delta.
Oh no.
An anvil flies towards you. What's your armor class?
It's 10.
All right, roll. Oh no! It can't only be 10.
It is 10. It's a wizard.
Oh, because you're a wizard!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
So I've just got this I've got this image of just 1 second the Dragonborn's there, the next second they're just a blur.
Well, this anvil just comes flying out of the ground at you. It rolls an 11 to hit. Does that hit you, or do you want to use one of your spells to try and deflect it or something? It's only 6 damage, so it's up to you.
Can I? Oh, I can't use.
If this is a level 1 wizard, 6 damage is death.
Can I? I can't use a shield, can I?
You absolutely can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You want to use the shield?
Yeah.
Awesome. So Delta, I guess you just like hold up a hand and conjure this magical shield, or?
Yeah, I try to, if I can, I'll try to cast a shield right on my hand and try to hold it up against whatever's coming at me.
So it's almost like you catch the anvil in the air with one hand and throw it away as you invoke the power of your shield spell and block the anvil. All right. With that, the anvil does not do any damage to you. And we move to Calbon's turn. Calbon, you're still a giant spider. There's an evil anvil. What would you like to do?
Okay, so what is the rules for reverting back to normal form?
What kind of druid are you? You're a druid of
The destruction kind, your
Right.
kind.
Yeah. I think it's a bonus action. We're gonna say that for now. We can look it up later.
Okay, I will use a bonus action to revert back to normal human.
All right. Well, you mean normal fungus man form?
Yes, normal fungus
Of
man.
course.
Yes, exactly. And seeing that bites aren't working real well on this stuff, I'll just do that.
Oh, jeez. Okay, and what are you going for? Are you going for the hammer?
And I'm assuming that it's within 10 feet of the other guy.
Am I making a dexterity save here?
Well, that's the thing. You would hit one of your allies if you were going to hit both of them. You could just hit the anvil without hitting any of your allies if you wanted.
Hold on, wait. I could also exclude them from the difficult terrain, my ally.
Huh?
I could exclude my allies from the difficult terrain.
Oh, right, because you're a ruined druid. So yeah, no, the destruction is the ground just kind of explodes up around you, Kevin. Perfectly avoids you. Great call there. Yeah. All right, so both the anvil and the hammer are going to roll dexterity saving throws. The anvil gets a 9. The
Fail.
hammer gets a 22.
It'll pass, but it's okay.
But some rocks just slam up and crash into the hammer. Or I'm sorry, the anvil. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Calbon?
Oh no, it's just it's also difficult terrain right now in that area. So
but
that's
only
it.
for the foes. The problem is they fly, so they'll probably ignore that for the most part.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, if they end up being walking anvils at some point, that could be very helpful.
Or knocked down.
Yeah, or get knocked down. They're for some reason they can fall asleep, so I imagine they get knocked prone too. Kokla, it's your turn. You're on the ground now. Your friend Calbon has turned back into a creature, not like a horrible spider monster.
Okay, so Kokla's gonna take a second, look around, because why is the sword on fire? There's a flying anvil and the hammer, and trying to figure out first thing she's gonna figure out, is the forge lit at all?
Right at here, this is like a smaller forge. This clearly isn't the main forge area. And yeah, it appears to not be lit at all. It's totally dormant here.
So, would it be... This is gonna sound like weird.
You can do it.
Is it a persuasion check to ask one of the animated tools, like the forge?
I think you can tell this much. The tools have no way of really responding to you. You don't think? They just seem like they're bent on destroying you currently.
So can Kokla shout, if you want us to light the forge, can you stop attacking us?
Yeah,
Is
you
that
can absolutely shout that if you like. No problem.
I'm gonna shout that.
Okay. Is there anything else that Kokla would like to do?
Find forge controls. We need lava to dump them in.
Okay, so I guess perception?
Yeah.
Can we make a perception check?
I think this is more of an investigation as you're looking for like how it works. Kokla, you rush over and you're like, lever, and you pull the lever, and at first nothing happens, and then you hear a crunk as a big metal thing just boom, flops open like a metal latch, and you begin to hear as suddenly there's a little light glowing up from this part of the forge up ahead, and then you just see lava just begin to like slough down ahead of you. It's in the forge area, so it looks like it's not going to come to where you are. But yeah, you have ignited the forge. Is there? Oh, I guess that was probably action and a bonus. Would you like to move it all, Kokla, or do you want to stay over there by the forge?
If she's in range of any of the tools, she's going to move out of their range.
Yeah, you're good. They're not near you.
Then
They're
she's
near
gonna stay
Delta
put.
And,
Then she's gonna stay put. And she's like,
Alrighty.
"Are you happy now? The forge is lit. You can forge the."
Excellent. Delta, it's your move. There is an evil-looking. I'm sorry. There is a very plain-looking anvil, but it's flying and tried to slam into you a minute ago.
I will use catapult to try to. Oh, is it flying towards me?
Well, right now
now?
it's just floating in the air in front of you because you stopped it a second ago.
Yeah, I'm using catapult, so I'll do this.
Wait, are you catapulting the anvil?
I mean,
Yeah.
Kokla is just trying to get this peacefully solved.
Throw it into the
And
lava.
So
They can hear her shout.
Throw it into the lava.
I can tell you this: the anvil is going to be way too heavy for the catapult spell, but that hammer that Kevin's holding might not be.
Yeah, Kevin just calls from where he's battling with the hammer. Switch!
I'll go towards the hammer then.
Excellent. So you hold out your hand to catapult the hammer, and where are you sending it? Just into the lava?
Yeah, into the lava.
Oh god! So you just hear a and you see the lava just kind of like rise for a second, like the hammer's like, oh god! But the hammer stops moving in the lava a second later as you obliterate it with your cat. Oh, that was okay. So Delta, the hammer is utterly destroyed as you catapult it to its doom. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Yeah, can I do like a find familiar? Is that a possible thing I could do?
Yeah, I mean, normally we would assume you'd have cast like a find familiar spell earlier, so you've got your familiar tucked away somewhere.
Okay.
What kind of familiar would you have?
A hammer.
No.
It says Batcat, or just a bunch of these stuff.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of little options. If you want, you can think about it, and we can like come back to it next turn, and we can just say you've got a little familiar friend.
Yeah, I'll come back to it next turn.
Okay. And if you have like another creature that's not on that list, but like that's similar, like it says hawk there, if you're like, oh, I want like a parrot, that's cool too, you know?
Okay.
And we'll just use the stats for the other creature.
Cool.
Alrighty. So Delta's like, where did I put my familiar? Looking around. Kevin, what would you like to do now? There's just the anvil left.
Right, as Delta comes over to catapult the thing, Kevin drops what he was holding with the hammer and turns around towards the anvil and places his very human-ish, his fishman fist inside of his fishman palm, like, right, come here. And it'll be covered in basically key energy as he's going to run up towards this thing, jump into the air for where it's hovering and punch it.
Die, anvil!
Yes.
Beautiful. Oh no!
Critical failure.
Kevin, the problem here isn't that you punch the anvil. It's that you punch the anvil.
And then he's going to use punch faster.
Okay. So we punch the anvil a second time.
Yes, I think. Wait, is it 2 more times or just a second time?
Oh no, you get 2 more. Yeah, because you're going to use your key point, right?
Yeah.
a man of many punches. These two punch the anvil right where it hurts. The anvil. And yes, you bludgeon it for another 13 damage. You dent the anvil pretty hard as you bam, two more strikes.
Time for some applied biomancy.
You must have hit it on an edge with the first punch, which is why it hurt so much.
Yeah, he just like shakes his hand, like ow.
And then the anvil turns and looks. It's almost like it's looking at you, and it's going to slam right at you, Kevin.
Bring it on.
13.
And he jumps over it.
Oh yeah, excellent. So it's like, I imagine with those 2 punches, you punch once, punch a second time, and then you like push off and flip over it as it tries to whoop right at you. Excellent. That's all the anvil's got. Calbon, what would you like to do?
Okay, this anvil moves around too much. Chill out, anvil. Chill out.
No!
Oh,
What kind of feat
yes.
is this? Strength?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yes.
It's got a 13.
It doesn't exceed
What's your DC?
13.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, the anvil does not get entangled then.
Oh no!
As you conjure forth, you're entangling. Is it vines or like mushrooms?
It's like mushroom.
They just gonna. It's like the spores that have been flying off of you the whole time suddenly just whop into giant mushroomy vines. But unfortunately, the anvil is too strong to get entangled by them.
I'm getting Golgari flashbacks.
Kevin starts getting more flashbacks.
Basic.
Calbon, is there anything else that you'd like to do?
No, I'm good.
Alrighty. Kokla, what would you like to do as the hammer dies?
Well,
The anvil has not seemed to stop or even really react to your pleas at all.
Is anyone reminded of the Terminator thumbs up?
what about the half-made sword?
It's just lying on the ground.
So she's gonna pick it up.
Okay. You look at it. Roll me an investigation check as you just kind of pick it up and look at it. Looking at it, you're like flipping it over. It looks like the sword hasn't been actually worked on in a really long time. Like,
Is it a little dented?
no, not really. Like, I'm sorry, because you hit it with the hammer. Yes, it's definitely dented.
Okay.
And that's how you can tell that it hasn't worked in for a long time. You see where Kevin hit it, and then you can see like where it had been being hit by this hammer, and this hammer hadn't been affecting it like at all. Looks like it hasn't actually been worked on.
I want to see what this looks like when it's finished.
Okay, so you just go over to the forge and start heating it up like, I'm gonna fix it. Or
Well, she doesn't know anything about forge stuff, so she's gonna call out and be like, "Hey, when you're done fighting the anvil, can you fix this for me?"
Kevin's gonna look over from where he's like got both hands around this thing trying to fend it off, like, sure, just give me a second.
Delta, your move. You see? Oh, I'm sorry. Kokla?
Was that an action or?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think that was an action. If you'd like to take another action, you can absolutely do that.
Sure. She's gonna mock the anvil.
Oh no! What do you say to the anvil?
Not very useful when you're up and flying around.
The anvil is crushed.
Hey, I get it.
Kokla, can you describe how you're cutting your horrible, vicious mockery kills this anvil?
It commits suicide in the lava.
Yeah, she says,
Oh,
you're not very useful when you're up and flying around. Like, it's so, like, crushed and depressed. It's like, oh no, I'm not useful.
And Kevin, as you like go to push off of it, it's almost as though, right? It's like helping you as you throw it off toward the magma pouring into this miniature forge, and it hisses and bubbles, and in but a moment, seems, well, right and truly destroyed. A puddle of iron amidst this pool of magic.
Well, that was depressing. And he'll turn towards Kokla. Like, you needed help?
Now. Looks like when it's done. Can you fix it?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Kevin, do you know anything about smithing? Do you have
He's
proficiency with smith's tools, perhaps?
He's got proficiency with Tinker's tools.
All right, so maybe you have like some idea. Looking at this is like almost like a sword blank. This is like not worked on at all. This isn't like a half-made wondrous magic item. This is garbage.
Are you sure you want this? It's nothing special. Little trash.
It may not be special, but I still want it fixed. Or I could go ask the dwarf that hired us.
Alright, I'll give it a shot, but yeah.
I mean, Kevin, this is gonna be like a couple hours of work, you think? This is not like I'm gonna hit this a couple times, it'll be done.
I'll give it a shot later in my house.
Okay.
I'll pass it off to you next time. Yeah, he'll just like see her around Bartholomew's place and give her the sword back at some point.
Alrighty.
I can make a glass replica of the sword.
I'm not sure that'd be very good in combat.
Although that'd be pretty.
Yeah, sure. Make her a glass flute.
Make it a glass sword flute.
Glass.
Yes. Yes, a glass sword flute.
Calvin, you go and you grab like some glass bottles that are filled with like weird powders and stuff, and you just pour everything out, and you go over the lava, and you're like, "Oh, this is hot enough," and you start trying to like blow a glass sword.
Sword flute. It's just got like there's like a little hole in the very bottom of the pommel, and when they blow into it, they can touch other holes along the blade.
Make it like make it a flute sword. All right.
Yeah.
You've started making a flute. What about the rest of you? Delta, what would you like to do? As you see, your friends are very distracted by this forge.
Kevin's gonna go looting.
Oh boy. I don't know. I'm just gonna try to find some type of drink somewhere and start drinking it if I can.
There's definitely some really old whiskey.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there's really not a lot in here. There's like, you're looking around and your first thing you find is, a barrel of, grease? Mm-mm.
Drink it.
Go
Drink
over to the
it.
next thing. Oh, there's this barrel over here next to the forge. It's filled with oil?
You won't. Coward.
Delta feels disappointed.
And Kevin just keeps trying to egg you on to drink the oil. But Delta, you're smarter than that, so you don't drink the oil. As the dungeon master, I'm saying that you're smart enough not to drink the oil.
Pansy.
So, as y'all are kind of looking around, Delta, you're beginning to like meander toward like the far side of this large room, just looking at each barrel like, oh, this one's full of gunpowder? Oh, whatever. You keep looking around, and Kevin, you're like loot.
Well, basically, like you said that there was like old mineral powders and stuff, so he's just going around to each of the shelves and kind of just scooping them into a satchel.
Oh, just pouring them into satchel, and then you hand the bottle over to your friend Calbon.
Yes.
Who at this point it's a pretty nice sword. It's like masterful. It looks beautiful. I mean, worthless because not useful in combat, made of glass, but very cool looking. Also, maybe a spellcaster.
No, let's just have Bartholomew enchant it to not break.
That's what a glamour is. If you want
the glass sword.
Glass flute sword, that's something you could do now. As Calbon has blown a very beautiful sword in a relatively little time.
Now give it to Kokla.
Really pretty.
Who knew that Calbon had such a knack?
I know, right?
As you're investigating around, you do find some real treasure, quote unquote, here. You come to one of a big shelf, and you can see there are some chests strewn about, as well as on the shelves, just stacks and stacks of ingots. Some of them of copper, silver, steel, and it's just a veritable like hoard. None of it's worth a particularly large amount. There's no gold or platinum or anything, but they're very nice. I mean, they're like just bars of material.
Daddy wants some knuckle dusters.
Kokla's gonna mention that it's not very nice to take other people's stuff, but then she's gonna go
dead.
look around and.
Also loot.
Well, no, she's not gonna loot. She's gonna take a look around, maybe climb some things.
Repurpose one's ownership.
Well,
If she finds any like texts that are interesting, she's definitely gonna read it.
I mean, there are some schematics for like making tools or what have you, but I think Delta and Kokla, as you're peeking around and looking for more clues, you're the two that you kind of make it the furthest along here of this building toward the other end where there's the forge. It's the forge proper. There are large stoves that could be used to heat individual tools or individual blanks for smithing. But as you kind of head over there, you see one of the forges ignite. It bursts into a large, vibrant flame inside and emits quite a bit of light, illuminating that whole dusty, desolate area. You see cobwebs all over. And
from the back, you just hear Kevin like, "What did you do?"
You see the forge, or not the forge, the large stove kind of break off of its holdings where it has like pipes that lead into other places. And on one of its large cast iron like legs that would hold up the stove actually animates and like moves forward with a loud clang, clang as it steps toward you. This towering stove of wrought iron metal, and where the front is where it's open and there's the flame and something like a guard to keep you from falling in. The guard almost curves up like a grimace of teeth, and the stove speaks to you, the opening almost though a mouth. You are to leave this place.
Excuse me? We are
Wait, sorry.
not leaving.
We can't hear this, right? Like Kevin and I.
All hear this.
Oh no.
It's kind of
Look,
loud and
we're
reverberating in the chamber.
We're sorry for trespassing, but we were hired by, and she's gonna explain the situation.
Makes another clang.
What's the name of the What was the name of the son?
Step forward. His name was Jeb. You didn't get a last name.
We were hired by some kid called Jeb. Gotta clean out his grandpa's forge.
And the stove says, "No." It almost like whistles as it speaks. You are to leave immediately and come back with proper gifts for the transgressions you have committed.
Yeah, sure. Kevin's not coming back.
Delicacies.
Yeah, whatever you say, mate.
Cheese.
Cheese. Okay.
Do you want cheese? Is that all? Really?
Lots of cheese.
Just us?
Lots of cheese?
So
Like if someone else were to ever come in, you wouldn't ask for cheese from them.
none may enter.
Alright, well, this sounds like Jeb's problem. Let's go, lads.
Ching, ching, step forward and kind of, it's huge. I mean, this thing is a solid, like, 8 feet wide and similarly tall. This massive wrought iron
He's
thing.
bigger than Kevin.
It's very intimidating, and it kind of looms threateningly. Little pipes that are broken off, coming off at a weird angle. What would you all like to do? As the stove has demanded you bring it cheese.
Kevin's going to say,
Kokla's
we will
gonna-
bring you cheese, but we're going to leave first to get the cheese. Come on,
Yes,
guys.
we're gonna go get cheese. We'll bring you back cheese.
Okay.
As a fun thing, as Kokla
Mm-hmm.
rushes out.
So you and Kevin just book it.
Well, she's also going to use her background skill to find the information where the best cheese is.
Oh well, we're gonna get to that. As you and Kevin go to beat a retreat, not wanting to fight this giant evil stove. Calbon and Delta, are you two also taking off, or are you gonna battle the stove?
Hold on, wait a second. I'm a fungal Floran, right?
Yes.
Cheese is a fungus.
Cheese is a mold. Can you just make cheese?
Yes.
Oh my
Oh my
god, you can
God.
just make
Well,
cheese.
I
well,
would
no,
not
you
eat
can't make
whatever
cheese
you
without
make.
milk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So unless
Just
you
give
have
me milk, I'll just
a-
make cheese.
So yeah, you need to go get milk somewhere, but then you can make cheese.
Does would anyone happen to have milk?
no, it's not my stuff.
No one has
No,
milk
No,
on them.
milk. No.
So
So
Calvin and Delta, are you two staying to face off against the stove, or are you backing off and joining this crazy cheese plan?
I will join the crazy cheese plan, but
Okay.
but know
I'm just
that all I
gonna-
need is milk.
I'm just gonna make sure and see if I can like freaking make it go to sleep because I am intimidated by this.
You're gonna
stove.
try and put the stove to sleep?
Yes.
It worked on the tools
Okay.
somehow.
This is a pretty tough-looking stove. You're pretty sure that it might be too powerful to just be put to sleep, at least without doing some damage to it first. It just looks like it's too beefy. But you could try if you want.
I'm gonna try anyway.
Awesome, go for it. Roll me the sleep. Center it on the stove.
Hop
The
down.
stove doesn't go to sleep,
Uh-oh.
but it does fall over. With a loud ka-tong.
And Kevin's going to go over towards
And
where the other two
it's
are
now
remaining. Kevin's going to go over to where the other two are, grab them by their respective collars, and start holding them back. Right, we're leaving. Come on.
Well, as you
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
no, I
need
mean,
to
well,
go to
just a
sleep.
second. You put the stove, like the stove falls over, like just blah.
Mm.
It's still got the fire burning in it, but you also hear a sound. You hear a like a squeak, and
Has it got
look
stove
past the
babies?
stove, and you see what looks like a tiny little rat scampering along the floor. Except this rat is funky. This is like some Simic shit, Kevin. It's
Oh
gone,
no.
it's like gone, and its brain is exposed, and it's kind of like glowing a faint light. And the rat looks kind of dazed, like maybe it was put to sleep and then fell from the rafters.
You.
Oh,
And
God.
Kevin's going to speak as if he recognizes this rat, and he's going to chase after it.
The rat is not running on four legs; it's running on two legs and kind of flailing its little arms. It looks very fat.
Kevin can run, I believe, 40 feet, so he's going to chase after this
You want
thing.
to try and
while dragging.
Yeah, no, you two are coming with him on this journey.
Oh, hold on, wait.
Being dragged.
Before he
Uh-huh.
does this, chill out, Mr. Oh, wait. Chill out, Mr. Rat.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
nice. It's a strength save too, and this thing's a rat.
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't roll it so you could see it.
Hey.
The rat is caught up in the fungus, like, oh no.
And he's got. Kevin's going to pick it up by the not brain, possibly the neck, and just like shake it. I'm going to presume you were in that.
It looks at you, and it says, "Get me cheese," and it casts Dominate Monster upon you.
Oh, no.
Am I even a
Oh,
monster?
Jesus.
You're a creature. It probably not hurts everything. I need you to roll a wisdom
Okay.
saving throw.
Wisdom. Shit.
Oh my god.
Well,
Excellent. So it controls your mind as its brain glows a bright green and says, "Let me choose and don't kill me."
okay, so
Chill out,
Kokla's gonna.
Kevin, you're convinced I must.
Alright,
get
sure.
this rat
Okay,
cheese
so
and not-
Kokla's gonna try and intimidate the rat to let go of its hold.
I was
Well-
just trying to hit it with a stone.
as you
On its
as
friend.
you try to intimidate the rat, you just see Calbon has thrown a pebble at this rat, hits it right in the brain, and it goes. "Ah!" Go ahead and roll the damage on your magic stone. And then the rat kind of was like slumps in Kevin's grasp still, and its tongue lolls out like it's been knocked unconscious. By the
Is
frog.
Kevin fine? Is Kevin back
Kevin
to
is
it?
no longer under the thrall of the rat.
Right, cool. Kevin is
unconscious.
going. Okay, Kevin's going to look towards the wizard like, found it familiar. There you go. And just going to pass an unconscious brain rat over to this Dragonborn.
I appreciate it, I guess. I don't want a rat, but I'll take it.
It's a brain rat.
It's yummy. I mean, I'm sorry. He doesn't look yummy. He looks like a good friend. I can borrow him.
Wait, you don't want him?
If he doesn't want him, I'll take him.
Really?
Okay, well, Kevin's going to go pick it up again and then kind of like look at it. And then he looks between. Sorry, I forget everybody's going to say. He looks between Calbon and the lava, and then between Calbon and then the lava.
Kokla is also growling at this rat, like.
And then he's probably just gonna kind of crush it in his hands.
Well, I'm wondering, Calbon, are you like licking your lips looking at this
Yes,
rat? Or,
yes.
Like, Calbon like says like, I want to just be its friend, but like he's a dead giveaway. I want to eat this rat.
Yeah. Well, what Kevin's gonna do is he's gonna kill it first and then pass it off to Calbon.
Oh no!
Okay.
You just kind of, and it is dead.
I gotta. Me mind's me own, and you touch that, I'll wreck you. Here you go, mate. And he's gonna pass it off to Calbon.
Calbon just
Exactly.
and down the hatch in the most probably horrifying way possible.
I don't want to look at that.
Yeah,
And
Kokla's
with
gonna
that-
look around and be like, we should probably fix this.
Yeah,
Nah.
looking around. There's just kind of dust all over the ground from where Kevin was looting whatever he could find of these random.
There was
boards.
dust all over the ground anyway. We're all fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
there's
we should at least fix the
No problem. I'll
forge
just fix
thingy.
it. Here we go. Fixing. Fix. Done.
Yeah,
You all
okay.
take some time and like push the stove back up and
Kevin
and
punches the stove back onto a bloody standing up position.
And yeah, after a little more searching the place, that was it. It seems that weirdly enough, that was all there was. It was just this rat that was using its telepathic powers and psychic power to animate things and try and get people to bring it cheese.
I told you guys, this Simic crap, it gets out of hand so fast.
I
That
understand.
was just crazy.
And
yeah.
Kevin like approached you all. Well, thanks for clearing it out. You did pretty good, and you didn't really destroy all that much, I don't think. And stove seems fine. You said it attacked you?
Yeah, yes, and
Yeah, there was a telepathic rat.
you've lost
that
an
was like-
anvil and a hammer, by the way.
We're sorry for that, but the telepathic rat was attacking us.
I'm not.
I mean, it's fine. There's probably 4 or 5 more anvils in there. It's a pretty big forge. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. This is great. I can finally go and start firing the old place up again. Here, I think I owe you all some money. Fishes around in his pocket, and he hands each of you 100 Bartholomew bucks, and you each gain a point of experience.
Sweet.
You become better adventurers. Have completed this adventure. Congratulations, y'all.
Thank you.
Hey.